Training camp literally about 2 weeks away. We're almost done. We're not talking about the linebackers. What is up, Fin fans? Yes, I think we have, after today, we have corners, we have safeties, and then I'm going to kind of talk about special teams a little bit. So we got 3 more videos until training camp starts on the 19th for the rookies, on the 26th for the vets. I will be doing a training camp preview video where I'll essentially be previewing training camp, talking about the dates that are open, about the joint practices, all that good stuff. And then when training camp happens, I have my expectation videos. I have a lot of stuff going on. So for all you guys that have been watching, have been subscribing, have been sticking around with me during this whole month of dead period, I greatly appreciate you. I hope you enjoy the content I've been pushing out for you guys. I hope it's been entertaining as well as enlightening. But before we jump into this video, I do have to shout out a new member in RAR228 JK. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I'm going to add special perks and stuff, but with the season kicking back up and with live streams happening, fun fact, I will give you guys, being that I am recording this on my OBS, which essentially is what I'm streaming, I'll give you a little preview, just a little preview of what the live stream for the games are going to look like. And my guy Jordan Begay helped me out with this one, but I got a scoreboard made up. So just saying, live streams are going to be pretty fun. Like I said, I've been working on a ton of stuff for the live streams and all that stuff. And mods, you guys are incredibly important. So to Roar, thank you so much for becoming a membership. To the patrons, thank you so much for being patrons. Again, you guys have special videos coming out for you guys, so I do appreciate you guys. One last thing before we jump into the video. I had the great honor and pleasure of jumping on Perfectsville's podcast. We had a fantastic time, chatted for about an hour. I will link it below. You guys have to go and check it out. We talked about so many different things. Absolute blast. If you're not following them, go follow them. Had a blast going on their podcast. Perfectsville, if you're watching this, you guys are amazing. Let's jump into talking about the linebackers. So I'm going to run down the list. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 linebackers on the roster right now. So I'm going to run down the list and I'm going to talk about where the battle really is. So we're starting at the top. Again, the list is so long I couldn't pop up the picture. But we have Jerome Baker, Sam McGuavin, Porter Gustin, Darius Hodge, Melvin Ingram, DeAndre Johnson, Calvin Munson, Jalen Phillips, Duke Riley, Alandon Roberts, Brennan Scarlett, Channing Tindall, and Andrew Van Ginkel. Some of these guys could play either end or linebacker. That's why they're there. But on the Miami Dolphins official roster, they have them listed as a linebacker. So we're going to go from the top down, talk about them, give you a little background information on them, and then I'm going to talk about the battle at camp. So we have Jerome Baker, 5.5 sacks last year, 92 total tackles. I think this was like one of the first years in a while he had under 100 tackles. 9 tackles for a loss, 15 quarterback hits, 7 missed tackles, and 1 interception. That very glorious interception against the Houston Texans, which was on my top 10 plays from last year. Jerome Baker, they moved him last year, right? And he even talked about it, that they moved him from inside linebacker more to the outside linebacker position, you know, putting him more in a position that suits his play style and how he gets after the quarterback, his speed and all that stuff. And you saw just a drastic change in production, not only from him, but from the whole defense. So I'm wondering if Boyer's going to stick with that and move him to the outside, being that we have a few inside linebackers. Then we have Sam McGuavin. He had a half of a sack last year, 16 tackles, 0 tackles for loss, 7 quarterback hits, and 3 missed tackles. Sam McGuavin was one of the bright spots of training camp. I think it was 2019 or 2020. It was 2019. I learned his name. I was like, this guy's going to be good. And he shows flashes, but then he tends to disappear. And I noticed during the season, he tends to disappear. He'll have like a good game and then he'll disappear for a couple, weeks and months. But it seems like during training camp, he kind of pops out and everyone's like, oh, Sam McGuavin getting a ton of pressure on the quarterback, making big tackles for losses. And then the season starts and nothing. Then we have Porter Gustin, who we signed from the Cleveland Browns, signed him back in June. Big guy, Definitely, he's going to be part of the competition I'm going to be talking about. We have Darius Hodge, who we claimed in November of 2021. Melvin Ingram, who we just signed about a month or so ago. 2015 to 2019, this man did not have less than 7 sacks. 10.5, 8, 10.5, 7, and 7. High pressure percentage of 10% throughout his whole career. If you take the equivalent of amount of snaps he's taken and the amount of times he has pressured a quarterback, it's pretty ridiculous. So Melvin Ingram, again, we tried to sign him last year. He ended up going to the Steelers and then was traded to the Chiefs. I love the addition of Melvin Ingram. I love the addition of bringing him in. I think it's going to be a huge rotational piece for the pass rush ability, third downs, all that stuff. Especially, like, there were so many situations where it was 3rd and long or 4th and long, and the opposing quarterback was able to convert these. And I honestly thought that it's because there wasn't enough pressure. And bringing in a guy like Melvin Ingram, I think that is really, really going to help that situation. Then we have DeAndre Johnson, who's an undrafted free agent this year. Calvin Munson claimed him in December of 2019. Jalen Phillips, the man, the myth, the legend. Our second first last year. 8.5 sacks. Should have had more. Rookie sack record. 8.5 sacks, 42 tackles, 16 quarterback hits, 9 tackles for a loss. He had 26 pressures and 10 hurries and 6 knockdowns on the quarterback. Some of those knockdowns could have definitely been equated to sacks. And breaking down his film, I noticed there was sometimes he would over pursuit where the quarterback would dip under and he would go by. I honestly think that he should have had roughly around 12 sacks. That's me, on the lower side. I think he definitely could have been contender for rookie defensive of the year if he was more consistent at getting at the quarterback, not so, because again, he overshot with his speed and he got taken off the field a lot. So I see big things for Jalen Phillips this year. Then we have Duke Riley, only really had 26 tackles, picked him up free agency from the Philadelphia Eagles. Then we have Landon Roberts, that nice pick 6 against the Raiders week 3, 1 sack, 83 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, 20 quarterback hits. Landon Roberts, Duke Riley are those middle linebacker guys that we're going to be talking about with the competition with Porter Gustin. Then we have Brendan Scarlett, 19 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, 1 quarterback hit. Channing Tindall, our first pick in last year's draft, 3rd round. I was glad they took a linebacker. When we started getting towards our pick in the 3rd round and the Dolphins talked about trying to trade up to get the guys that they wanted, and, people were asking for a lot. And again, the Dolphins wanted to keep their 2022 draft picks for a reason. Well, 2023 draft picks, my apologies, for a reason. And we all know what that reason is. So they were like, we're going to sit pat. They missed on some of the linebackers I would have liked them to get, but taking Channing Tindall, good guy, fast, can play sideline to sideline. Expect him to be covering, Josh Allen as a spy. Very excited to see what Channing Tindall can do. And then finally, we have Andrew Van Ginkel. He had 4 sacks last year, 71 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, 20 quarterback hits, 31 pressures, 12 hurries, and 14 knockdowns. And again, what knockdowns are, it's like the quarterback just gets the ball off, knocks them down. Now, looking at the linebacker core, right, you have Andrew Van Ginkel, Jalen Phillips, Melvin Ingram, even Jerome Baker, Sam McGuavin. These are your outside linebacker / pass rusher type guys in your 3-4 sets. When you're looking at inside linebackers, which to me is still very sketchy, I'm still not 100% comfortable with the inside linebacker position. Channing Tindall, Brendan Scarlett, Landon Roberts, Duke Riley, and Porter Gustin. They will kind of fall in that inside linebacker position. It looks like, I hope Channing Tindall can get that starting nod and, be in there week 1. But if he isn't, he isn't. I'm not too worried about that. He is a 3rd round pick. It looks like it's going to be Landon Roberts and probably Duke Riley as the starting middle linebackers. I wonder if they will put Jerome Baker back at that middle linebacker position. Again, you sit here and you say that Duke Riley and Landon Roberts is your starting middle linebackers. Does that make you feel comfortable? Because to me, not really. Not really. That's still a big need for me. The depth at the defensive line, a legit middle linebacker. Because again, no knock on Duke Riley, Orlando Roberts, or any of the middle linebackers we have. It just, I don't feel as comfortable, right? And are we really going to depend on a rookie to do, what he needs to? He can come out and just blow people away and show that he should have been drafted higher. I'd love that, but the middle linebacker spot really does worry me. The outside linebacker spot doesn't worry me at all. Andrew Van Ginkel, Jalen Phillips, Melvin Ingram, these guys are just showed consistently being productive, and I'm fine with that. It's more the middle linebacker position. And again, you have the guys who are probably competing, and that's what this whole series is about, making the roster. Porter Gustin, Darius Hodge, Calvin Munson, DeAndre Johnson, Brennan Scarlett. Those are guys that are competing to make the roster. Even Sam McGuavin, as much as it sucks to say, he's competing to make the roster. And a way to make the roster, if you can't break into the starting position, special teams. That's how Clayton Fedulum stayed on this roster for so long. He's a very good special teamer. But when it comes to the linebacker core, it's not great, but I think we've all been talking about that for a while, that the linebacker core isn't where it should be, and we all wanted that first pick that the Dolphins had to be a linebacker. We got our wish. Let's see if they can build off of that. But that's what I got for you for the linebackers. Be sure to comment below. Next video is going to be corners. Then we're going to talk safeties. Then we're going to talk special teams. But be sure to comment below. And I have a comment of the day. And this comment comes from your friendly neighborhood white guy. And he says, comment of the day. Do people really hate Tua, or do they just want to see him fail because they never made it to the NFL? I don't think people hate Tua. I will address this more in my expectation videos when I talk about, literally I have Tua's expectation on his own. I don't think people hate Tua. I think the media and a lot of these scouts and a lot of people put this expectation, right? They put this desire, or this, like, what you're getting with Tua Tagovailoa out there. Saw Tua essentially play, and it wasn't what was advertised, essentially. And I think that's why some are like bummed and overly wanting him gone, because there's people like me that if he doesn't make it and he doesn't show us what he can do and he's gone, I'm not gonna sweat it. Again, the Dolphins put themselves in a good situation it's a win-win situation, the quarterback play this year. But if he does great, I'm ecstatic because I've seen him do great. But there are people, I think the people that want him gone are just, they were given false information, and then they see the other two quarterbacks producing quickly, and it's bothering them. I don't think anyone really hates him, but I have read comments, I am not even making this up. I've read comments below of people that are saying that they will root against the Dolphins because they don't want to see Tua at quarterback anymore. There are some people out there irrationally that don't like Tua and are going to root against the team for them to lose, because then that means Tua won't be here. I don't question people's fandom, but that's a point where I kind of question it. I will never root for this team to lose. But thank you so much for the comment. Again, if you want to be part of comment of the day, just leave a comment and put comment of the day in the beginning of it. That was a great example of it because he kind of got straight to the point. Again, if you leave me like a huge paragraph, it's hard for me to sit there and read the whole thing. I'm pretty sure people don't want to hear me read. So if you want to be a part of comment of the day, just leave it below and I'll pick one of you guys. But other than that, comment below. I read all your guys' comments. I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Sometimes I just surprise you guys on the weekend with a video, but if not, I will definitely see you Monday. We're getting very close to training camp, and I have a ton of videos left to do. But on that, like usual, stay classy and fins up.